Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark, a.k.a. Derringer. Today is Sunday, January 6th, and you are listening to episode 190 of the Instant Action Podcast, your weekly source for Planetside news and information. As always, I'm brought to you by great listeners like you via the Support the Show tab on instantactionpodcast.com. So first up today, I want to wish all my listeners out there a very happy new year. Welcome to 2019. Back in 2012, did I think that I would still be podcasting about Planetside in 2019? I don't know. Back when I started Reachcast with Torx and Nox all the way back then, I don't really know what our thoughts were at that time, other than just to have some fun, get some listeners, play some Planetside, and do stuff like that. So am I thankful that I'm in 2019 and still podcasting about a game that I love to play? Yes. Am I still thankful for all you listeners? Definitely. And we've certainly had a lot of fun along the way. And, here's to a productive 2019 with Planetside 2 and Planetside Arena news going forward. Other than that, I think the only news for me inside Planetside 2 that maybe not everybody knows about is, and this is not a knock on the guys that I was playing with whatsoever, because if you're a longtime listener, you know that I've been playing on my NC character in Bax, Black Arrows. On my TR character, I play in Joke, and my VS character, I've been playing in Joku, and Joku is an offshoot of Joke itself, and Bax basically is Joke. Also, they're all the same players playing on the same outfit, same group of guys in all three of them. A lot of the guys in Bax, Joke, etc., are kind of gearing themselves up for Planetside Arena to come out, and they're not playing Planetside 2 as much as they were in the past. A lot of them some of them will log in and play an hour or so, and then they move on to other games like Call of Duty and things like that. And I can't fault them for looking for fun in other games if they're not having fun in Planetside 2, but I'm still having fun in Planetside 2, and I'm still looking for people to play with constantly in Planetside 2. So I did take my Vanu character and moved him out of Joku, and I'm now tagging along with the B-Way guys a lot more than I was in the past. And they welcomed me with open arms into their L-Way server. That's kind of like the Bax JV, if you've ever seen Otto running around playing in Bax JV. Me playing in L-Way. L-Way stands for Learning the Bushido Way. B-Way is Bushido Way, in case you didn't know. But I've been having a lot of fun with them, and the reason I'm having a lot of fun with them is because they have a good amount of people on at all times. They always have a full squad on, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes a full platoon on when we're out playing, and I'm a combined arms kind of player. I play infantry a lot, but I like the fact that I can get with a group of people who are playing that point hold, point cap, moving around the map a lot, doing defenses, things like that. That's the play style that I like in Planetside 2. So being able to kind of tag along with the B-Way guys and play their style of game keeps me excited to log into Planetside 2. And again, this is not a knock on the Joke guys, anything like that. I still love all the guys in Joke. I still talk with them whenever I can. I still kill them when I see them in game. And I still log in and play with them, because whenever I play on my NC character, he's still in Bax. I'm never taking Derringer out of Bax unless they kick me out of Bax, because I'm one of the oldest members still in Bax at this point, and I'm not giving that up. at any time to go play with anybody else on my NC character. That's just the way it is. So again, maybe not a lot of people knew that, but I'll throw that out there. That's probably the biggest piece of news for me in Planetside 2 currently, is that I've found a group of people to replace that awesome feeling I had playing with the Backs Joke guys, who are kind of taking a little break at this point. If they all come back wholeheartedly to Planetside 2, might I play with them a little bit more? Definitely. Because again, no love lost with those guys. I still count them as some of the people I enjoy playing Planetside 2 with the most. Maybe B-Way will overtake that, but they've got a pretty high bar to cross before they get there. But enough about me, because a lot of you don't give two shits. What's in store for this week's show? Well, first I want to talk about the elephant in the room, and that's the current state of the servers and what we know currently. After that, I was asked by quite a few people who listen to the show to chime in on the heavy assault seal clubbing discussion that's gone back and forth based on the Serious Gaming YouTube video and Lex's response to that. Then I want to give a shout out to an upcoming Smash that you guys might want to check out because it's different than anything that I've seen before. And then finally, a little bit of Planetside Arena talk with a good compilation of all the info about Planetside Arena that we know so far. So without further ado, strap in as we hot drop into another episode of the Instant Action Podcast. All right, so first up this week, you guys, anybody who's been playing Planetside 2 is perfectly aware of what's been going on with the servers. But in case you've been living under a rock or have not played Planetside 2 recently, the servers have been going to hell, and I put that lightly. I mean, they've been in an absolutely awful state lately, whereas you're shooting at somebody and your bullets aren't registering. That's the biggest thing. Your bullets just don't seem to be registering whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, everything will register all at once. You'll kill somebody, you'll die, or it's very weird. Happens around corners, all kinds of awful stuff like that. It's become quite a chore to log in and play Planetside 2 as a gunplay game at this point. Sure, if you're just mining cordium and off building a base or doing something like that, it's not going to affect you. But if you're playing Planetside 2 for Planetside 2's sake, as a first-person shooter or anything like that, you are going to be having issues playing the game right now. And we do have some news and information from Nick about the status. And even before then, Roxley said, look, we're aware that the servers are not as good as they should be at this point, but last week everybody was away on holiday. They were celebrating Christmas and New Year's, and a lot of people weren't even in the office to take a look at some of this stuff. So while they were kind of aware that all of it was going on, they weren't really doing much about it. And part of me wants to kind of give them a pass because it's the holiday, and everybody deserves a break every now and then. But another side of me kind of wants to give them crap about it because a lot of us were on holiday as well, and I won't say the game was unplayable, but it was at a state where playing it absolutely was not enjoyable for long periods of time. I mean, at first it wasn't so bad. I mean, you'd have very small instances where, you'd shoot somebody and your bullets weren't registering. But now, I mean, I played a bunch yesterday, and during long stretches of the game, you're just landing shots on people and nothing is registering whatsoever. And it's very discouraging, especially, you die a few seconds later and you're like, I don't even know why I died. I got killed by a friendly player yesterday when I was playing, and I saw that he killed me in a scythe. I never even saw a scythe anywhere near me, never even saw the shots hitting the ground or anything like that. All I know is next thing I'm dead, and I'm getting an apology from this guy because he killed me. And I'm like, don't worry about apologizing. I never even friggin' saw you. It just kind of came out of nowhere. So like I said, I kind of want to give them a pass because they're on vacation. But if you've got something as awful going on in game like this, I think this is something where you need to bring somebody in and fix whatever the hell is wrong with your servers, because it's a horrible impression that you give players in the game, especially at this point. You've got to be getting some people into Planetside 2 who are curious about Planetside Arena and are saying, oh, this is the precursor to a new game that I'm interested in playing. I'll log in and check this out. And if you're getting a lot of people doing that on their Christmas break or whatnot, then they're going to log into a game and play with servers that are in a garbage state like they are right now. And they're going to say, well, if this is the status of Planetside 2 servers, what's Planetside Arena going to look like? And that's not the impression that you want to give any sort of new player playing Planetside 2 right now who could potentially be giving money to you at some point. Now, like I said, we do have some updates from Nick regarding this. And on January 2nd, he tweeted that we will be seeing some bigger hitches than before during prime time because they're capturing internal telemetry to track down what some of these server-side performance issues are. And then he tweeted on January 3rd that they were able to track down the culprit and that they're working on a fix on it. But unfortunately, there's going to be server downtime to deploy it, which means we don't have any of that stuff as of this recording right now on Sunday, January 6th. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the first thing that drops on Monday morning or Tuesday, worst case, because I did read another thing about how they wanted to try to get this to test before pushing it out to live. But I really think that if you've nailed down what the server-side performance issues are, you need to push this to live as soon as humanly possible, unless you really think that it's going to break something and it needs to go to test first. But as we all know, we haven't even been able to get on test for a while now because that's been broken with various things. So that's kind of where we sit at this right now. There is no hard and fast fix for it. If you do play Planetside 2, hopefully if you're listening to this, the patch has already gone to live at this point, and all of this will be moot. But this past week has been absolutely terrible for gameplay, in my personal opinion. And there are many times when I've been playing, and then hit this issue, and I'm like, screw this. I'm logging out for a while because I'm just going to get angry if I continue to play like this and get killed by people I don't even see and have never seen and shit like that. It's terrible, 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 terrible. I don't know what else to say about it, except that if they can push a fix out next week, all will be forgiven and we'll just move forward like that, especially because Nick did say that they're going to push out a bunch of double XP sessions to make up for the server-side performance issues that we've been dealing with now for over a week at this point. I'm glad they're going to throw some sort of bone to us, but I think if this ever happens in the future during a vacation, it's probably more important to get somebody in there to correct this than throw us a bone at the end, because I do think you missed a prime opportunity of people checking out Planetside 2 for the first time, or maybe coming back and playing some Planetside 2 in anticipation of playing Planetside Arena at the end of this month, and you might have lost some of those players because of it. But enough about the server issues. Let's move on to our second topic this week. Okay, topic number 2 this week. Like I said, I wasn't really going to dive into this topic, but then I got quite a few people asking me in game, in Discord. I had somebody email me about it. A lot of people asking me to weigh in on this, and it's the most recent video, or not the most recent, but a video that Serious Gaming put out recently, and it's regarding heavy assaults and how some players he feels are maybe ruining the game for other players. You'll have to go and watch the video yourself and form your own opinion, because I feel that you should always form your own opinion about things rather than blindly listening to what somebody says. In addition to Sirius putting this, he specifically called out Lex, who a lot of you guys know as a pretty decent player of Planetside 2, in my opinion. He can be a dick at times, but everybody can be a dick at times. He's also a nice guy at times. So I made sure to go and watch and listen to everything that Sirius had to say. And then I made sure to go and listen to everything that Lex had to say in rebuttal to what Sirius had to say. So just to kind of recap Sirius's points. Basically, it was a heavy assault training guide video, and it kind of diverged off of that pretty quickly. And brought on what people are now calling the Seal Clubber meme at this point, because Sirius is complaining about those types of players in the game that aren't playing the objective, that are only playing the game to work on their headshot ratio and also their kill-death ratio. And again, he specifically uses Lex as his main example of what he considers players that he dislikes in Planetside 2, and goes on to even clip some of one of Lex's videos where he's absolutely destroying a whole bunch of people, and 2 different videos actually. And he also complains about Lex's play style and how he only plays heavy assault, and things like that. And he would prefer that if people, instead of doing this seal clubbing, as he calls it, would instead try to help some of the newer players in the game get better at the game itself, and also play points more and play more type of that gameplay rather than KD, just watching KDR. He even brings up a new statistic that I hadn't even heard people talking about before, called ADR, which is assault defense ratio. That's kind of checking out what you have done, when you're fighting at bases, how many bases have you assaulted, how many have you defended, and you get an actual ratio on that that you can apply to see if you're doing an even amount of assaults and defenses, because a lot of the people doing this quote-unquote seal clubbing are just defending against high pop and just kind of Zerg surfing and things like that to try and kill a lot of players. And while I can understand some of the things that Sirius is saying in his video, how this might not be the best thing for a brand new player to Planetside 2 to keep them in the game if they're just going to get farmed incessantly by a really good player. But unfortunately, I have to disagree with, most of the things that he's saying in his video, because while Lex is a polarizing individual, again, there's people that like him, there's people that don't like him. Like I said, he can be a dick at times, but he can also be a pretty cool dude at times as well. I've had lots of conversations, or I've had some conversations with him in the past, and he's always been real nice to me, and called me out when I'm doing something stupid, and said something nice when he appreciated something that I did. So I kind of see him as a level-headed individual. And honestly, prior to this video out by Sirius, I've liked the majority of the stuff that he's put out. I haven't always agreed with everything that he's put out, but I don't think I've so much disagreed with any video prior to this one. And he's again, I'm siding more with Lex on this one, because he is simply just playing the game that is presented to him by Daybreak Games. It's not like he's specifically going out and searching out these low BR players, because and he points this out in his video. Last time he checked, there's no filter that you can turn on and off in the game that will show you just where low BR players are, or that you're only going to be fighting against low BR players. So there's that. Second, Sirius complains about the heavy assault class, where Lex points out that the heavy assault class is what it is, and it's been presented to everybody by the developers as a kind of catch-all class that can perform well against every other type of class in the game itself, and it's able to deal with a lot of different situations within the game itself. And it also has a pretty decent shield that helps it in engagements. And if you're given something like a tool like that in Planetside 2, which is an open world sandbox game where you're fighting and your main goal is to capture territory, and one of the ways of capturing territory is eliminating other players so that they are unable to capture the territory that you're in, he's playing the game the way that it is presented to him. And I also didn't like the fact that Sirius pointed out that Lex is always just going after low battle rank players, because that's one of the furthest things from the truth. Maybe he's going against low battle rank players in the game right now, but that's because that's what's being presented to him in the game. I know for a fact that Lex participated in the Farmers League and a lot of the other leagues like that, which pitted only the best players against the best players. And I know for a fact that he and his group of players did particularly good in that. Now, that's not Planetside 2. That is, Farmers League or some other sort of enclosed environment where it's 6v6 or 12v12, some small group type of play. Whereas Planetside 2, as I said before, it's this open world game where you're fighting on a giant continent against hundreds of other players all at the same time. You could be spawning into a hex that has 96 others and you're one of 12 fighting off these people. You're just kind of relegated to fight what you're fighting against. And I've watched a lot of Lex's gameplay videos, and he doesn't sit in the spawn room and snipe from the spawn room. He's out there playing different classes. He plays heavy, sure. I've seen other videos where he plays medic and does the exact same thing that he does as a heavy assault player. I think that he's just a highly skilled Planetside player. And I think Sirius is highly overlooking that. And I also think that it's a mistake for Sirius to say, this is how everyone should be playing Planetside 2. Because, and maybe I've made fun of this in the past, but there truly is no wrong way to play Planetside 2. And I know people have made fun of that in the past, and I've made fun of that in the past, but it's the truth. Anyone can log into Planetside 2 and play the game exactly how they want to play. Do they want to sit in the air and do dogfights or air to ground or things like that? Yes, you can do that. Do they want to do infantry play nonstop as a lone wolf player, killing other people? Yes. Do they want to be a sniper on a hill, killing other people all day long? They can do that. Do they want to have rolling tank battles? You can do that. Do you want to just farm cordium and construct a base? You can do that. That's the beauty of Planetside 2 to me. There is no wrong way to play it. You can play it any way that you want and have fun playing it. And as long as you're having fun playing it, you're not playing it wrong. And I think that Sirius is missing out on that. And I think he is solely focusing on the fact that he wants new players to stay playing the game, which, while a noble aspect of Planetside 2, part of Planetside 2's appeal is that it's a difficult game to get into. You are going to get killed a lot. But to me, that's the challenge that makes me want to get better at playing Planetside 2 and keep playing Planetside 2. I also think that he's a little misled, thinking that the only correct way to play Planetside 2 is by going after that, like I said, that new ADR stat that I've never heard of before watching these videos. Equally assaulting and defensing to try to get that number down to 0 as much as possible is not feasible in Planetside 2. I mean, sure, you could have a low 1 maybe if you're attacking and defending a lot, but you're kind of at the mercy of what's happening in the game to work on that ADR ratio. And if I'm having a good time just doing defenses, am I going to stop doing that to go assault some bases when that's not the fun game that I'm having in Planetside 2? Again, I just don't agree with Serious Gaming's new video that he put out, and especially the fact of him singling out Lex as a cancerous player on Planetside 2. I don't like that term. There's a lot of play styles that I don't like. Banshee Mossy is one. Max Main is another. Lex just playing the game that he's being presented in front of him is not a play style that I dislike. So for everybody who is asking, there's my opinion on both of these two videos. I will include a link to them so you all can go out and watch them yourselves. And again, please form your own opinion regarding it. And with that, let's move on to our next topic this week. So you'll notice we're going into our third topic, and I haven't done Veteran's Voice this week. Well, that's because Romus had a little hard drive failure issue, but don't worry, he will be back next week on episode 191, so don't worry. But moving on to the third topic this week is a new Smash that's coming in the new year, and it's an Air Anomaly Smash. Now, I don't think that we've done one of these before, and if we have, I apologize to the Server Smash folks because I try to keep on top of these things, and I hadn't noticed if we've done a full Air Anomaly Smash before. If we have, then I apologize. But, no, I mean, even reading this, they write Happy New Year 2019, and they're happy to announce the first Air Anomaly Smash in Planetside 2. The event's going to be centered 100% around an Air Anomaly alert. It will be held on the Jaeger server, and it is going to be a pure 100% air experience. That means no ground lock-ons, and all flak weapons are going to be banned from this Smash. It's going to be two factions, NC versus TR. They'll be fighting each other over Amrish in two 30-minute air alerts. And it says that they're going to be led by experienced air leaders. And since air anomalies can only be spawned by developers, they will have a dev spawning them for them, which is pretty damn cool if you ask me. Now, you want to save the date because this is occurring on March 2nd. So yes, you have 2 months before this is actually going to go live. But outfit and solo signups are open as of right now, and you have until February 17th to sign up for this Air Anomaly Smash. There's also a specific Discord for it, so go to the Server Smash Discord and get into the Air Anomaly Smash Discord for it. And that way you can get in touch with everybody who's taking care of it. Look for either Paf Daddy or Alpha 141 on both of those, either via Reddit or the Discord server to get any information or questions answered regarding it. Even though I am terrible in the air, doing an Air Anomaly Smash sounds like an amazing event. And you got to think that I'm trying to think already. When I read this, I was trying to think of all the different types of strategies that you can empower this, because when I do a regular Air Anomaly, there's a lot of repair galaxies flying all over the place, and Liberators are trying to disrupt all that, and there's a lot of air-to-air dogfighting going on with the ESFs. I think if you're someone who is dedicated to flying in Planetside 2, this might be something cool for you to check out, and that's why I'm making sure to mention it here. I don't know that I will be doing this, but I'll be keeping my eye on it and probably taking a peek at it when it happens on March 3rd. So yeah, again, save the date for that. With that, let's move on to our fourth and final topic this week. And that last topic is a little Planetside Arena news, because just this past week on the Planetside Arena Reddit page, which I go onto a couple times a day looking for information about Planetside Arena, because again, we are less than a month away from this going live. I have not gotten my beta invite yet, which I'm a little disappointed about, but One of the Reddit users named Speckeye on the Planetside Arena page put together a good list of all the different information that we have currently about Planetside Arena. And the nice part was he included links to every single thing that we know about Planetside Arena. Like, for example, we know that all classes are going to start with only their knife, and this is confirmed via a rock, paper, shotgun link. He confirmed that the passive for engineers is that shields are going to regen more quickly, and included a link to the PC Gamer article where that was mentioned. He talked about how the different modes that we're aware of, that there's going to be a 100-player solo battle royale mode and a 102-player third-person squad battle royale modes, and those are both confirmed via a Eurogamer article that he linked to. He also linked to the Forbes article about the massive Clash 250 versus 250 mode that's going to be available for launch. Again, it's a nice condensed listing of everything, again, that we know about Planetside Arena. And like I said, the best part is all the various different links that we have to the specific articles that it's all mentioned in. So it's not like he just threw something out there and then didn't have the full details about it to back it up. So again, if you're curious about everything that we know to this day about Planetside Arena, and also note that there was a developer response to his post saying, great work, that this is the majority, or I think Bishop wrote, well done. So if that's not a ringing endorsement that all this information is true, nothing else is, as far as I'm concerned. So again, I'll include a link to this so you guys can check it out and read all that you want to know about Planetside Arena. This is going to be a good resource in the coming weeks as people are starting to talk about this game more and more, and people saying, well, is that in the game? I don't know. Well, here's your kind of FAQ about what we are going to have that's known right now until more of us get in and start playing this game. But with that, let's move on to this week's housekeeping.
Housekeeping. Housekeeping.
Come back later, please.
Housekeeping.
Not now.
Housekeeping.
Go away.
I coming anyway?
Now, for housekeeping, I did receive an email, and it was from the operator 3712. If you guys recall, he wrote quite a long email to me that I read before the Christmas holiday on episode 188 about the state of the PS4, and I got a lot of praise for reading his entire email. I got another really long email from him, and he said that I could read the email if I wanted to or not. A lot of it was directly to me, so I just wanted to let the operator 3712 know that I did receive the email, and I'm going to respond to you personally rather than take the time to spend another half hour reading through and responding to your entire email. And if people on the PS4 side are curious about what he wrote, I'm sure that I could work with you guys and share what he wrote and my response with his blessing, of course. Maybe he and I can get together and ask that question on the PS4 Reddit. Maybe we can throw that information out there and do that. Like I said, I just don't want to spend the time going through about another, because the other email took about 15 minutes to read and another 10 or so for me to respond to all his stuff, and it's a lot of the same stuff, but it's a good back and forth email that I'll take offline with him. Other than that, I didn't receive any email, voicemail, nothing like that this week, so I think that's going to be it for this week's show. So how can you get in touch with me or the show? As always, your first stop should be my website, www.instantactionpodcast.com. After that, you can always email me. It's instantactionshow@gmail.com. You can call me and leave me a voicemail, 347-4VM-4PS2 or 347-486-4772. Follow the show on Twitter @InstActPodcast, or my personal Twitter is @TheDerringer. As always, though, in closing, if you've enjoyed the show, please leave me a review on your podcast listening avenue of choice, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or anywhere else. Honestly, this is where people are going to find me and information about Planetside 2, so any reviews that you leave are super appreciated. Other than that, please feel free to tell your friends and outfit mates about the show. And finally, Thanks for listening, and keep spamming that Join Combat, formerly known as Instant Action button.